Welcome to Manchester and to the Bupa Great Manchester Run. Once again, a vast entry of 37,000, and Haile Gebrselassie goes for win number 4. The great man has dominated the event over the years. Good British opposition in the form of Chris Thompson this year, though. The course, well, it's always challenging, starting in Portland Street, heading out towards Old Trafford, and then turning along Warren Bruce Road, back past the Imperial War Museum, the Manchester Ship Canal, and back into the city. The wheelchairs first. David Weir goes again, and David Weir, of course, a strong contender as always. He's won the race 5 times before, the first in 2004. He's already gone ahead of the rest of the field. He is the defending champion, of course. And we're told Tanni Grey-Thompson, Dame Tanni Grey, is also in the field, but she says she's not really competing. She's there just to go through the motions now. She says she's a veteran, and it's no longer the serious business, but she just feels she wants to take part. Well, back to the start, the elite start, and Tim Hutchins is alongside me for the elite women.
Thank you, Stuart. Yes, a very high caliber field has been pulled together. Sara Moreira of Portugal, the bronze medalist at the European Championships over 5,000 metres last year amongst them. Certainly one of the favourites. Berhane Adere of Ethiopia, one of the grand old dames of running now, the former 10,000 metre world champion, was the first winner of this race when it all began in 2003, and she won again in 2006. Grace Mamani, well, she's the new face of East African athletics, the Commonwealth 10,000 metres champion from Delhi last October. And Helen Clitheroe, the best of the UK athletes, the European indoor champion, of course, over 3,000 metres in March this year. She's also the UK record holder in the 3,000 metre steeplechase. Well, it's a very fast course and conditions are good. Now, road racing, of course, offers more opportunity for a hard gun-to-tape tactics, if you like, if you can call those tactics, rather than the niceties and subtleties of track racing where there are so many tactical options. But Stuart, I would imagine that this pack will sit together for the first mile or two, and then somebody will cut loose towards the middle stages of the race.
Well, Helen Clitheroe on the left of your shot here won that European indoor 3,000 metres title, and that has given her a new lease of life mentally, because she's been training so hard, we're told, and so well in Font-Romeu and in Kenya, along with young Charlotte Purdue, who was due to run here, was withdrawn from the race. Not sure why, but she is a real talent. But certainly Helen Clitheroe will be one of the front runners, I would think, and also Mamani, who I watched in Delhi last year win that wonderful Commonwealth title, as you first introduced, and she's in the red strip and the black shorts, just in about the middle of that pack.
Well, Clitheroe at the front at the moment. To the left of picture there in the purple is Christelle Dornay, the top French distance runner, the French record holder indeed in the marathon. She's in pretty good form. And to the extreme right of picture, Adere. Well, you can hardly find anybody with greater CV in the running world than Adere. A world champion indoors and out. Her best years behind her now. It'll be interesting to see how she copes with this field here today. But I'm fascinated to see that Helen Clitheroe, who is running with more confidence, we know that after her win in Paris at the European indoors a couple of months ago. Interested to see how she goes.
Well, there is Dame Tanni Grey-Thompson in the wheelchair race. It's not really a race for her, she said. It was a matter of getting from A to B and just enjoying some memories en route. She won many of these long distance titles, she certainly has. And the women now just 2.5 minutes out, and you can see that there's a spread already with the elite group leading, with Helen Clitheroe there, Adere's there, and so is Moreira, Mamani, young Wooten is in the middle of that group, staying with the pace very well. At the back of that group is Incerti of Italy, originally bronze medalist at the European Championship Marathon, then promoted to silver after the winner was disqualified. She's at the back of that group. And in the purple group, as you've already mentioned, Christelle Dornay, the French woman, the French record holder at 15k and 20k and half marathon. And these are the masses, and they're going off in waves. And the introduction's about to take place. The great man will be introduced at the end of this group. And this is Sergei Lebed of the Ukraine, 9 times winner of the European cross-country title. He's been so predominant on the track, or on the field rather. Craig Mottram of Australia, winner of this race incidentally in the second running in 2004, multi-Australian national record holder. looking for that old form. But Chris Thompson, European 10,000 metre silver medalist, more recently setting a new personal best for the distance in the United States of America. Very, very enthusiastic. And here's a fella who really needs no introduction, Haile Gebrselassie, the most accomplished distance runner of our time. He's the defending champion. In fact, he's champion for the last 2 years. His credentials are formidable. They will lead out this mass of humanity in and out of the city. They'll go off in waves, incidentally. They don't all go off at the same time, so that there's a safety element here. So 10 kilometers of running ahead of the field, and one would expect the elite group to emerge from that pack very, very quickly indeed, and to develop a rhythm within their racing. The conditions, absolutely, well, they're not ideal, let's put it that way. It's been very damp, and Jessica Ennis with the starting pistol there, and Amir Khan, the World Championship boxer, helping her as the masses get away on both sides of the rostrum there. Look at this, all of a sudden, Chris Thompson. How much confidence did he get? He's in second here behind Haile Gebrselassie. How much confidence did he get from that wonderful performance at the European Championships last year, Tim?
Well, an awful lot of confidence. Chris has really stepped up over the last 18 months or so, but more importantly, Stuart, just 2 weeks ago he ran a personal best for 10,000 metres on the track, 27 minutes and 27 seconds in Stanford in the USA. He's in wonderful shape as Chris Thompson there in second place. Haile Gebrselassie hits the front straight away, but I shall be interested to see just how well Thompson can cope with Gebrselassie. Let's not pretend that Gebrselassie is at the peak of his powers. You know, he is the grand old man. He's the greatest distance runner in history, without any shadow of doubt, in my opinion. But I think he might be vulnerable today.
Individual stopwatches being clicked as they go across the line. All those transponders on their ankles will record their individual times. And look how spread out it is already. And of course one expects that once the elite go. And of course you saw Martin Fagan of Ireland up in that leading group. There he is, looking third place ahead of Craig Mottram. All the principals are there. I can see Lebed in the background. But as far as the women are concerned, well, it's spread out to a group of women we expected to see there. Adiri at the back. Katrina Wooten is right at the back of that little group.
Thank you.
Well, there we saw the athletes pass through 4 kilometres as they go past the Dennis Law and George Best and Bobby Charlton statue outside Old Trafford. Of course, Dennis Law and Bobby Charlton, two of the greats who still grace Old Trafford on a regular basis with their presence. And I'll tell you what, this athlete, Helen Clitheroe, is running metronomically here, Stuart, through 4 kilometres. She's gone past that in about 12:51. She's run 3:12, 3:12, 3:11 and 3:16 for her kilometre splits so far. She's really dictating what's going on here, and this is a totally new Helen Clitheroe we're seeing on the roads this year.
Well, the confidence that we mentioned earlier, absolutely clear for you to see. Between 4 and 5 kilometres now on this course. They'll turn right eventually along Warren Bruce Road as we see David Weir in the wheelchair race. Well, it's really a demonstration, isn't it? David Weir, who's so dominated over the years, as I began by saying, is continuing to do this. It's going to be his 6th victory in this race. No question about that. Come through, look at that, 22-23. He's absolutely stormed around this course, and as often a man who prevails, and as is this man. This is a man who prevails more often than not, and still Chris Thompson is there with him, and so is Fagan. They're all there, in fact. Lebed is there, and Ledwith is there. I was just looking to see, that's Andrew Ledwith of Ireland, actually, the turquoise vest behind the leading couple of athletes. But certainly this is not going to be an ultra fast race, that's for sure. James Walsh is up at the back of that group in the red shorts and the white top. He's off the back of it at the moment. I'm just identifying a few of these as we go through the early stages of this race.
Well, they're approaching the 2 kilometre mark, Stuart. They've gone through 1 kilometre in 2:45 in that men's field, and looks like Gebrselassie doing the same. They're dictating conditions for the men. as Helen Clitheroe is doing this women's race, but you can see the effect it's had now. That's Katrina Wooten under Dairy, well past her best, as I said earlier, are beginning to drop back from this pack. And this is what you have to do as a distance runner, Stuart. You have to just be patient. If you're going to lead, if you're going to push on hard, you don't expect quick results. You just wear the opposition down. And Helen hasn't glanced around once that I've seen. She's just been concentrating on maintaining a good, hard, healthy tempo, and she has to tell herself that it will be hurting the others.
Well, her personal best of 32.15 goes back to 2008. She won the Leeds Abbey Dash on that day, but this is better. 5 kilometres to go, so they're right halfway at the halfway mark now. Past the village circle, the round village circle, and then they'll turn right soon down Warren Bruce Road and then head back towards the city. But Adiri really is struggling, you're quite right. Helen Clitheroe then 16.08 at 5 kilometres.